Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this very special event at BCIT. This day is for you, family and friends. But especially, it's a day for students to walk across our stage and become graduates of BCIT. My name is Randy Singer. I am the Associate Dean for Digital Arts and Broadcast and Media Communications at BCIT in the School of Business. And I'll be your Master of Ceremonies today. We do have a professional photographer here to take a photo of each student as the student crosses the stage. The photographer will also be available immediately following the ceremony for portrait photos. A complimentary photo proof and order package will be sent to each graduate within a couple of weeks directly from Mountain West Studios. But if you would still like to take your own photo, please feel free to come forward to the front as your grad crosses the stage. We are also doing a live stream video of the ceremony this morning. If you have someone at home and you want to sneak them a quick text right now to go to bcit.ca, they'll be guided from there as to how to watch the live stream. The video will remain on the site for several months, so you can go home and watch it again afterwards lots of times. We certainly want to make this an enjoyable occasion for everyone, so once you've done that little text or tweet that you were just about to do, or you've very quickly talked to someone and said, hey, watch us, please, out of courtesy to everyone, ensure that your cell phones are turned off during the flight. Please put it in airplane mode and silence your phones for us. You can turn them back on after we've landed. The captain will tell you the right time. With that, we're now ready to have our participants enter the auditorium. First, our students are going to be led by Barry Hogan, Dean of Academic Planning and Quality Assurance. Then, the faculty will be led in by Larry Vesna, Director of Student Retention. And finally, our platform party will come into the room led by the Git Hayatsk dancers. So, I ask you to please rise now and greet, and please remain standing until after the singing of the national anthem. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the class of 2014. Our students are now in the auditorium. Please welcome our faculty. Our faculty is now in place. Please welcome our platform party led by people of the Copper Shield. Please remain standing for our national anthem sung by Stephanie Standerwick.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts receive thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Stephanie. Would everyone please be seated? Would Joanne Stone Campbell, coordinator with BCIT's Aboriginal Services, please come forward?
Good morning. BCIT would like to acknowledge the traditional Coast Salish territories of the Squamish Nation, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh. Welcome.
I now call upon Richard Plett, Chair of BCIT's Education Council, to come forward and formally present the graduating class of 2014. Richard.
Welcome, everyone. I would like to ask the class of 2014 to please stand. Honorable Platform Party members and faculty and guests, these BCIT students represent hundreds of years of dedication, work, and sacrifice. Along the way, they have received an incalculable amount of support from each of you. And on behalf of BCIT's Education Council, it is my pleasure to present to you the class of 2014. You may be seated.
Thanks, Richard. I would like to now introduce our platform party to you. I'll ask them to stand when I call their names and to please remain standing. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Scott Blythe, Director of the Alumni Association. Richard Plett, Chair, Education Council. Donna Mackay, Registrar. Brad Lindsay, Vice President, Campus Life with BCIT Student Association. Kat Stewart, BCIT Faculty and Staff Association. Craig Cowan, Associate Dean, Electrical and Computing Engineering Technology. Paul Morrison, Associate Dean, Mechanical Engineering and Chemical Technology. Barry Hogan, Dean, Academic Planning and Quality Assurance. Trevor Williams, Dean, School of Energy. Justin Coleman, Vice President, Student Services. Paul Dangerfield, Vice President, Education, Research and International. Adam Peon, newly elected Chair of the Board of Governors. Bridget Anderson, our keynote speaker. Kathy Kinlock, President. Paul McCullough, Vice President, Advancement and Alumni Relations. Robin Hemmingson, Dean, School of Business. And Joanne Stone Campbell, Coordinator, Aboriginal Services. Platform Party, you may be seated. I now call upon President Kathy Kinloch for her opening remarks, please.
Thanks, Joanne. Good morning, everyone. It sounds like a great, lively group today, so that's what we need on a morning like this. Platform guests, faculty, graduates, just imagine you've made it, family and friends, welcome to BCIT's 2014 Convocation ceremony. This is a day of celebration and really a moment in time for when you as graduates can reflect proudly on your achievements. I know you've already faced considerable challenges at BCIT throughout your time here. I hear there's long hours. I hear there's late nights. And some difficult assignments, maybe. Just saying, those are in the past now, you're moving forward. Your presence here today is indelible proof to me that you have met those challenges head on and that you're now ready to enter the next stage of your career, so congratulations. Today, as we acknowledge the people who provided you with the support you need to succeed, your instructors, and most importantly, your family and friends, I'm going to work out today and give you a workout, so I'm going to ask you to stand again and please thank your family and friends. It's worth that stand up, that's for sure. That's great. You can be seated, thanks. It's always the guy who says to the mom, thanks, Mommy. At this time, I'd like to also recognize our faculty for their dedication and commitment and excellence to training and education. As BCIT approaches its 50th anniversary, and I just have to ask family and friends, can you put your hands up if you've been at BCIT, have studied at BCIT? Lots of arms going up. I hope you come to our 50th anniversary in October. We remain committed to this distinct applied education model that serves both learners and employers. As you know, our faculty members are the link between the two, nurturing talent and building expertise, and ensuring that our students, alumni, and partners remain competitive. Our faculty members are really a constant inspiration to us all, particularly as I move forward in this new role. I've been privileged to get to know many of them since I've arrived and been moved by their dedication to their students and to their field of specialty. One such person is Mick Andick. Curiosity may not have done much for the cat, but it did a lot for Mick, and even more for his students. Many of the engineering students in the auditorium today have passed through Mick's classes. He teaches in both the second and fourth year of engineering and is the program head of our BTech in manufacturing. Mick immigrated to Canada in 1969 because he was curious about living here. And he kept on being curious, going back to school to get his first degree and then his master's. And he kept working part-time in the industry because he still was curious and is about new advancements and opportunities. He passes his knowledge on to our students and exemplifies a commitment to education and to our students that we should celebrate. Now, if you walk into the machine shop in our mechanical engineering program, the first thing you see is a collection of guitars. Excuse me, a banjo and a mandolin hanging on the wall. Not something you'd expect to see. And you might wonder, wait a sec, this is a machine shop. Why are these musical instruments hanging here? It turns out they're cast-offs and rescue instruments from thrift shops and junk heaps. That's not what we do all day, parents and families. Eugene DeRozo, a tech staff member of the Mechanical Engineering Department, has repaired and put these instruments back together with other members of the department. Students then waiting for classes to begin or for a particular machine to become available can grab an instrument off the wall and start to play. Sometimes solo, but occasionally a mini jam session will erupt, a creative solution to a logistical problem. And finally, Darlene Webb, who's in our audience today in front, is an epitome of the instructor who loves to work behind the scenes, not even up on stage today, volunteering behind the scenes to make our students successful. As a matter of fact, even today, she said, no, instead of being on stage, She was one of the many volunteers busy helping putting gowns on people, as she calls them, my kids, and is now in the crowd running errands again. And that's the kind of person Darlene is. She does everything she can to make others successful. Darlene's been teaching at BCIT since 1998. She teaches communication courses in both the School of Computing and Academic Studies, as well as in the School of Energy. But on top of that, she's found time to become the faculty supervisor for the BCIT's Engineers Without Border. They're an organization committed to work with Africa. Under Darlene's leadership, she's hoping to send our first students to Africa in the near future. And here in Burnaby, she is also the original founder of Engineering Idol. This is an event where our students give presentations on engineering topics, and finalists are selected from a panel of industry experts. Another example of connecting our students to industry. And we're proud to say many more of these finalists are walking across our stage today. So with great instructors like Darlene, it's not a surprise the school was accredited recently by the Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board, and we're so very proud of them. So all of our faculty on stage and those who were not able today to join us have got wonderful stories like that, and those are examples. So let's just take a moment and give them a round of applause. So graduates, as you cross the stage in your 1 minute of walking across the stage, you will receive an alumni pin and become one of more than 150,000 alumni who've crossed this stage. Wear it proudly. Stay in touch with BCIT and the Alumni Association, or through participation in one of our many program advisory committees. The friends and contacts you have made, I hope you keep in touch with. They will be valuable for you in years ahead. I'd like to introduce one special graduate to you now. G.A. June Lee, where are you? Can you stand up, please? There you are. Now I want you all to, no, stay standing. It's your moment in the sun. Okay, so I bet you wonder why G is there. Because G is the last person on our list to go across the stage today and deserves equal enthusiasm as when you start out. So I bet you never thought this would happen to you today, but we'll try and make it really noisy for you at the end of the celebration. Thank you. You can sit down. So my sincerest congratulations to all of you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you to the family and friends who've supported our students as they've gone along to now become graduates, and to the faculty and staff who've done so as well. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kathy. I'd now like to call upon Adam Peon, who will bring greetings from the Board of Governors and introduce our keynote speaker.
Good morning, honored guests, members of the Platform Party, ladies and gentlemen, and most of all, our graduates. I am very pleased to bring you greetings from BCIT's Board of Governors. The measure of BCIT's success is a measure of your success. Because you've worked so hard during your time at BCIT, you now have the skills to truly succeed. As you look around you today, take it all in and really pay attention to this full auditorium of people. You have the support of family and friends whose respect you have earned. As well, you have the confidence of your instructors and all of us who know just how hard you had to work to get here today. In fact, I walked across this very stage 20 years ago, and I know exactly how hard it is to get where you are, so congratulations on that. Be very proud of your accomplishments. Employers know that when they hire a BCIT grad, they're getting the very best. You've dedicated many hours of study, and you've been tested and challenged along the way. Now, as the career path you've chosen is widening, embrace it, and do not settle for mediocrity. Take this opportunity and excel. Commit yourself to lifelong learning. This is really just the beginning. as soon-to-be graduates of BCIT, go forward with purpose. Work as hard as you did to get here today, and you truly cannot fail. On behalf of the BCIT Board of Governors, our warmest congratulations to all of you on your personal achievements. I now have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker. Bridget Anderson is an award-winning former journalist who is now Vice President, Corporate and Public Affairs with Edelman Canada. Bridget provides strategic communications counsel and media relations consultation to clients such as the Vancouver Airport Authority, Coast Capital Savings, Chevron, the City of Vancouver, and the BC Centre for Excellence in HIV/AIDS. She also served as press secretary to former BC Premier Gordon Campbell. Bridget holds a broadcast journalist diploma from BCIT, and for 20 years, worked in the media, most recently as a national news anchor and as a reporter for CTV Vancouver and BNN. Bridget is a member of the Vancouver Board of Trade Women's Leadership Circle Policy Committee and also volunteers her time with Canuck Place Children's Hospice and the Minerva Foundation for BC Women. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give a warm welcome to Bridget Anderson.
Good morning, graduates, and especially to those in broadcast journalism. I knew you'd be the loudest. And good morning as well to the platform party, to guests, to family and friends. I'm just honored to be here to speak to you for a few minutes this morning. And when I was thinking about what I was going to say, I was looking for a couple of quotes to sum up what I would say my last 25 years have been like. And there's one from J.R.R. Tolkien that really holds true. Not all those who wander are lost. And 25 years ago, I sat exactly where you are, not in this building, it was still on campus. And I was about to embark on a similar journey that all of you are about to embark on now. I felt confident, I felt prepared, I knew that I had great skills thanks to BCIT. I didn't really know where I wanted to go, but I was hopeful. I had known since I was a teenager that I wanted to be a journalist. And so I thought, I want to be a foreign correspondent or a respected news anchor. I wanted to be a journalist with gravitas. Wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get there, but it's what I knew I wanted to do. And 25 years ago, there was a huge amount of change, that the world was at this precipice of change. Tiananmen Square was breaking out in protests, and in 1989, in November, the Berlin Wall fell. And perhaps most remarkable of all, Milli Vanilli was at the top of the music charts. Do you even know who Milli Vanilli is? Little did I know that that year of change would really frame what my career has been like and the opportunities that I have been blessed with. And whether you are graduates from the School of Business, from Broadcast and Media Communication and Digital Arts, or graduates from the School of Energy, change, adapting your skills, seeking opportunities for growth and learning has framed my life, and it's likely going to frame yours. And if you ask some of my instructors, Mary Kay Thurston, I, on the surface, might have looked like I was a little lost, like J.R.R. Tolkien says. But I have learned that it is the journey in life that matters most, even at those times when I have appeared a little lost. And I think back to the beginning of my path, and it wasn't easy. In fact, I didn't think I was going to make it into BCIT. It was the summer of 1987, and I was waitlisted. I spent most of that summer hoping and praying that something would arrive in the mail. You guys know what mail is, right? Comes to your house, exactly. Or that the phone would ring, my home phone. Had a dial thing. And sure enough, about a week or two before the school year began, I got into the broadcast journalism program, and I was thrilled. My first year went great. I loved it, and between my first and second year, I got a job at CHNL in Kamloops. It was a tough job. I cried once, twice, maybe 3 times. It was really tough out there. I had the right skills, and I felt really confident, but it was tough working out there. So then second year came along, and it was a tough year. I think you guys can probably attest to that. Tons of work, huge challenges, and I nearly quit. I cried once, twice, 3 times. And Gord MacDonald, who was the head of the program, pulled me into his office, and he did not let me quit. And to this day, I thank him for that. So my professional career journey started shortly after that. I got a job at what was then CKWX and KISS FM, and there's a few people here behind me who I worked with then, Dennis and Doreen. Nice to see you again. And I really loved that job, and I learned from some really amazing, talented folks like Dennis and Doreen, and thought this was great. It's exactly what I wanted to do. But sure enough, after a couple of years, I thought, you know what, I want more. I don't know what that means, but I want more. I want to grow my skills. I want to do something new and exciting. I wanted a new challenge. So off I went to Victoria, because I thought I wanted to be a political reporter. Just gave everything up, and I thought, well, how hard can this be? Come on. And sure enough, I got a job. I freelanced for a while, and then I became a real legislative reporter. And I thought, I hit the big time. I was working with like Keith Baldry, Vaughn Palmer. I had my own office. And what a year it was. It was about 1994, if I remember correctly. It was a wild time. Mike Harcourt was the premier. He had to resign because of the Bingo Gate scandal. Glenn Clark became the premier, and there was a scandal. He had to resign. Gordon Campbell was the opposition leader. There was no scandal then. Not then. But you know, it was a fantastic experience. I chased politicians down the halls of the legislature, and I was only in my mid-20s, but I was there with the big boys, and I had my elbows out, and I was really proving myself. But again, after a few years, I really thought, I don't want to be stuck doing just this. I want something more. I want to continue to grow my skills and adapt and change. So I had an opportunity to come back to Vancouver, and I worked at a station called VTV, which became CTV. And in that job, I really got to do everything. I was very, very fortunate. Talk about an opportunity for learning and growth. You know, at times I had thought, well, you know, this is exactly what I want to do, and I'm getting to learn it all. But just when you think you hit the top sometimes, that's some of your biggest failures. And I've learned in life that those tough jobs and those tough situations are your biggest teachers. I was the 6 o'clock anchor with a fellow called Ravi Baishwal, and I thought, I'm at the pinnacle of my career. It doesn't get better than this. It was only 1999. But then VTV got bought out by CTV, and I was shunted off to the weekend show. And I thought, oh, wow, kind of just taken off my perch there. A little bit of a failure. But I didn't realize that in that step back or the step aside was such an opportunity to grow. In one weekend, I had the opportunity to be a news reporter, a news anchor, a story producer, a camera coordinator, a lineup editor, makeup artist, probably janitor and mom to everybody in the newsroom. I ran the newsroom for the weekends. And so I would never have got that opportunity had I not been taken off the perch of the 6 o'clock news. And as much as I love that, I had another opportunity to go to Toronto, and so I accepted that opportunity, and it was for personal reasons. I didn't have a job, so I was looking for a job, and I was offered a job as a business reporter. Again, I thought, well, how hard can that be? Of course I can do it. I was a political reporter, I could be a business reporter. I didn't have a clue. Quite honestly, if you go back and you look at some of those early tapes, if you can find them from BNN, I didn't know how to read financial statements, I didn't know anything about the markets, and I had the pleasure of learning it on live television. So I really relied on my communication skills. I learned how to tell better stories. I learned about forgetting about there were business people I were working with, not many journalists, mostly business people, and they could think about the details, but I could tell the stories. I could be a communicator. And so in that really tough job, which I tried to quit a few times, finally I was successful after a couple of years, I became a better journalist, a better communicator, and a better anchor. I stuck with it, and I'm really glad I did, because it was some of the best learning I ever had professionally. And then, as life would have it, I moved back to Vancouver, and I couldn't find a job. That was a big ego blow. I thought, you know what, I'm this big-wig national anchor reporter. I've been doing this for years, 20 years. Everybody's going to welcome me back with doors wide open. But you know what, there were no jobs in news. Times were really changing. And I thought, holy heck, what am I going to do? I have no idea. I did manage to find a part-time job at CBC, and I was there freelancing. And one day, in walked Gordon Campbell, the Premier of the province, and he said, "Bridge, what are you doing back in town?" And I said, "Oh, I moved back a few months ago." And he said, "Well, why are you here?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to find my way again." And so my phone rang that night at home, and sure enough, he offered me a job as his press secretary. And, you know, those opportunities don't come across in life very often, but it was the hardest professional decision I ever made. I knew I would be giving up my career as a journalist. There was no going back. But I also knew that the opportunities to learn and grow my skills and to adapt those skills would probably never come again. Little did I know the kind of change that was going to happen in the industry. That was 2008, and I think about what's happened in the last 5 or 6 years, and it has been an enormous amount of change. So after much humming and hawing and meeting with friends and thinking about it, I took the opportunity. And you know, it was such an interesting time. I got to be on the campaign bus and running the media part of the campaign for the 2009 provincial election. I was part of the introduction of the HST. That went well, I think. That was a good one. I was also the Premier's press secretary during the 2010 Winter Olympics, and I think my official role at that point was the official holder of the red mittens for him and the Olympic pins. So one of the things I learned in that job is that you can't hang on to ego. And I had been in front of the camera for so long, and now I was behind the camera. I was actually behind him in the camera, so you couldn't really see me. If you ever could see any kind of red blonde hair, that was me, and I was always way behind him. And it was a really humbling experience. I had to sometimes get him coffee. I, had lots of those kinds of things to do. I was the person behind him. But one of the things that I did get to do is I got a seat at the table. I had an opportunity to see the way that government works, or doesn't work in some cases. I got to see strategy in action. I got to be part of strategic thinking, and my opinion mattered. All of those things that I had learned at BCIT about communications and the 20 years of growth and developing and adapting my skills and taking every opportunity that came my way mattered to those people. I went on international trips with the Premier and other premiers. I went with the Prime Minister. I worked with cabinet ministers. And because I had seen things from so many different perspectives, they listened to what I had to say. Not all the time would they take my advice, and I would say that's true of clients now, but they listened, and I really learned that my opinion was valued because of the wide perspective that I had. So then post-Olympics, I was exhausted, and I would like to say that I knew he was going to resign. I didn't. I left only a few months ahead of he did, but I was again in the situation where I was looking for a new challenge. I did not want to be stuck in the public sector. I wanted to grow my skills and adapt my skills, but what did that mean? I knew that I had this media part and this government part, but when I stripped it all away, it came down to those foundational and communication skills that I learned at BCIT. So what do I do with those? Fortunately, I had made a really great connection when I was in the Premier's office, and I ended up at a place called Edelman, which is the world's largest PR agency. I am blessed to be there. I get the opportunity to learn and grow every day. I am challenged every day. I'm a senior strategist, not just communications, but I get to do branding and advertising, and I think it doesn't matter whether you are in broadcast journalism or you're in the School of Energy or the School of Business. The lines are blurring so much in industry these days that all of our skills are adaptable. And so I get to do a whole wide range of things, and because of my perspective of being able to have done so many different things, my clients really value that kind of input. And I think back to the 25 years ago where I got my diploma. I'm really grateful that of all the opportunities I had and the chance to learn and grow. So if I had any lessons that I learned that I would impart to you, that you might remember one or two of them, some of the top ones are, get out of your comfort zone, be adaptable, look for challenges and look for people who inspire you. Find people smarter than you. I have worked with a lot of people who are smarter than me, and to this day I still work with people who are smarter than me, and I learn every day from them. Network. It really is about who you know. really, it is. So keep in touch with all of your people here that are in your class because they're going to be great contacts for you too. Play nice. You will go farther in life if you're nice. People have a long memory, and it served me well when I had to be the gatekeeper for the media for the Premier and report to the man who ran the province. I had to be nice, and a lot of the people that I worked with, formerly in media, really that mattered a lot to them. And so they are still my friends now, and they are still, I'm working with them in different capacities now. Be humble, do the little jobs, carry the red mittens. You are never too good, you are never too senior to do those little jobs, and never let ego be your guide. But the best decisions I ever made were putting aside my ego and deciding, you know what, it's not about being in front of the camera, it's about learning more. It's about an opportunity to grow. Align with your values. I promise you, if you do that, you will not go wrong, unless your values are immoral and you're completely on your own. Let yourself fail. There's lots of times in my career where I felt like a failure, being knocked off the top job at CTV. And you know, that when I had my radio job in Victoria, the company went under, and I had to come back to Vancouver and ask Gord MacDonald for a job because he was then the program director of CKNW. But it's in that failure that the opportunities come for learning and for growth. And failure is, in fact, creativity's genius. You only will succeed if you actually fail. That is probably the most important thing that you can tell yourself over and over again. Look to grow your skills. Never, ever, ever choose money over an opportunity to grow your skills. What looks like could be a step sideways or backwards is just a new opportunity to learn and grow and be adaptable. You know, and if I think about it, you know, looking at friends and family here in the audience, my mother is here and she is my role model, and I look at how she has constantly adapted her skills to her changing industry and has never stopped learning and growing. And so think about that, because it really is an opportunity in life to just learn and grow. You know, BCIT gave me those foundational skills of storytelling, critical thinking, research, strong writing, and communication skills. I have taken those BCIT skills and grown them in ways I couldn't imagine 25 years ago. Now it's all about digital and social media and new channels of communication. But those BCIT skills are still imperative. As I said, the lines have really blurred, but your foundational skills will get you through the technology and the rapid pace of change. And whether you are the graduates of the School of Business, Broadcast and Media Communications and Digital Arts, or graduates of the School of Energy, change is the only thing that will be permanent for you. Your skills are adaptable. So celebrate your achievements, but do not rest on your laurels thinking you have arrived at your destination. Your journey is beginning. And I cannot say this enough. Say yes to new opportunities. I will never regret saying yes. With yes comes possibility, a new adventure, and new learning. And perhaps Mark Twain says it perfectly. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed with the things that you didn't do than by the things you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover.
Thank you, Bridget, and thank you for being so revealing about the behind the scenes of your journey. It certainly has been successful, and you've given us some real things to think about as we go forward in our careers. Thank you. We now have a few special awards to present today. I'd like to ask President Kathy Kinloch to come forward to present the Lieutenant Governor General's Award for Technologies.
So the Lieutenant Governor's Silver Medal for Technologies is presented annually at Convocation to the student who attains outstanding academic achievement and contributes in a positive way to BCIT and the community at large. This year's recipient for the Lieutenant Governor's Silver Medal Award is Taejin Moon. Taejin Moon, where are you? Please. Please come and join me here. it's going to be a day where you'll hear from him. Come on over here, it's okay. We'll just hold this up for a sec. It's going to be a day you'll hear from him later, right? You've got a big day today.
It is.
Right. So TJ is graduating with a diploma of technology in electrical and computer engineering technology. And in a little bit, you'll hear firsthand from him about his journey, but I'd like to share some of some of his nominators have said about you. Don't be nervous.
Okay. Oh, I'm breathing.
Are you breathing? All right. TJ has been an exemplary student through his time here at BCIT. In addition to his outstanding academic performance, maintaining just a 94% average, he also demonstrates tremendous initiative and leadership. TJ's volunteered as a first-year set rep as chair of the student chapter of Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, as a counselor with the BCIT Student Association, as a peer tutor, and as a student representative on his program advisory committee. Where do you find the time? Wow. In his first year, TJ won the first place in the Presentation Idol that I mentioned earlier, a speaking competition for students in engineering programs. Sounds like it would have been a treat to hear you speak. So in a true reflection of his character, TJ donated the winnings back to his fellow students for all to enjoy from that celebration and that presentation. So we just want to... Congratulations. I can think of no better fitting person, well-rounded, than you to receive this. So it's our honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, and congratulations, TJ. Next, Adam Peon will present the BCIT Board of Governors Award for Leadership.
The Board of Governors Award for Leadership is presented annually at graduation to a student who has a high level of academic achievement and who has demonstrated outstanding leadership and service to BCIT and the community at large. This year, the recipient of the Board of Governors Award for Leadership is Tarek Shobab. Come on up, Tarek. Very good, thank you. Tarek has completed his Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering and has shown excellent leadership during his time here at BCIT. He was elected as chair of the School of Energy to the BCIT Student Association in 2013. In his role, he created a framework for interdisciplinary learning systems and collaborated with students, faculty, and administration to allow students from different disciplines to work and learn from one another. He was a student ambassador for BCIT International Programs and has been selected as the student ambassador to China this summer. In 2013, he was part of the three-person team that won first place in the innovation category at the Western Engineering Competition for their single-wheel motorcycle trailer design. Tarek continually displayed enthusiasm, leadership, and commitment to the success of this program area, his peers, and has represented BCIT internally and externally. Tarek's provided voluntary tutoring for high school students in math, physics, and English, and was also a volunteer with the Canadian National Institute for the Blind and the Tri-City Youth Basketball Association. Again, where do you find the time? For these reasons, and for his great academic standing, Tarek is a very worthy recipient of the Board of Governors Award for Leadership. Congratulations, Tarek.
Thank you, Adam, and congratulations, Tarek. And now, would Dean Trevor Williams, our Dean of the School of Energy, Trevor Williams, please come forward to present the Teaching Excellence Award for the School of Energy.
You're trying to get me confused. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, faculty, and graduates, I'm here on behalf of the students and the faculty of the School of Engineering to present a very prestigious award, the Teaching Excellence Award. BCIT prides themselves in having good teachers, providing good support to ensure success of its students. And so this is a very important award. And it is unusual in a way that it is an individual award. It recognizes individual achievements. Putting some perspective on it, there are about 200 faculty and staff in the school, or faculty in the School of Energy, and in some 45 programs. So here's how it works. The students nominate one of their faculty persons to receive the award. They have to prepare a full justification of their nomination, and then a faculty committee goes through, looks at their submissions, and makes a decision. So this year, the faculty committee, based on the student nominations, have selected an individual, a long-term employee of BCIT, Ian Ross. Ian, can you come forward? Ian has been with BCIT for 37 years and will be retiring at the end of this month. I understand to go mountain climbing. And I'd like to relate some of the things that students and faculty have said about Ian. He's an energetic, enthusiastic instructor who is dedicated to student success. Students say he is a master teacher whose enthusiasm captivates them. His passion for engineering subject, and some of us have passion for engineering, others don't, but the students say that it's contagious and it makes never a dull moment in one of Ian's classes. Ian has a teaching style where he teaches the theory, he intertwines it, the students say he intertwines it with industry examples and also with some personal stories. So Ian also is dedicated to the department. The department says that he took on a new teaching course in his last year and developed and delivered a new course, which really is dedication, and it's demonstration of his dedication. Ian, it gives me great pleasure to give the Teaching Excellence Award for 2014 to.
Thank you, Trevor, and congratulations, Ian. Now we come to that exciting moment when our graduates are about to cross the stage and be recognized for completing their programs at BCIT. Yes. Here's the process we're going to be following. The students will leave the auditorium, and some already have started. They'll be returning through this side door on my left here, and they'll be coming up the stairs and approaching me and handing me their credential. I will read their name, and I'm going to return their credential to them, and then the photographer will take a photo as they meet President Kathy Kinloch, who will just be over here. Then our grads will shake a few hands as they cross the stage, starting with Kathy Kinloch, our president, and then Bridget Anderson, our keynote speaker, Adam Peon, Chair-elect of the BCIT Board of Governors, and then for the School of Business grads, Robin Hemmingson, our Dean, and for the School of Energy, Trevor Williams, the Dean, as well as the Associate Dean of their program and their program representative. Also, as each graduate leaves the stage, they'll become a BCIT alumni, and Scott Blythe, Director of Alumni Relations, will present them with an alumni pin just as they leave the stage. Once our graduates have received their credentials, graduates, please remain seated, listen to the valedictory address, and I think we're ready to start. If we have everybody in their place, I think we're ready to go. If your folks are ready to go, we're ready to go. Okay, we're ready. Let's start. Great, thank you. And I'll need that too. So we're starting with the School of Business. The Dean is Robin Hemmingson. The Associate Dean is Randy Singer. Randy? That's me. I'm going to stay here. This is for the Diploma of Technology Broadcast and Media Communications. The first program is Broadcast and Online Journalism. The program head is Connie Monk. And our first graduate is Richard Abney. Correct. Maria Rozo. Graduating with distinction, Cameron Barra. Blanca Blandon. Congrats. Jeffrey Clowers. Jeffrey. Renil Desai. Con Araslin. Kelsey Furlong. Graduating with distinction, Neetu Garcha. Christina Gumman. Jennifer Hazel. Caleb Henry. Graduating with distinction, Kyle Hawking. Nicole Hodges. Steve Kioka. Shannon Lurcher. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Tina Lovegreen. Vishal Prasad. Graduating with distinction, Zara Premji. Sukhjit Purwal. Jeffrey Rennie. Sarah Sangha. And just back from picking up the top award at the RTNDA convention in Toronto, Blaine Sayers. Carmen Sitt. Congrats. Olsi Sarakana. Jillian Stead. Angelina Tileman. Tim Tulloch. Now we switch to the Radio Arts and Entertainment program, still within Broadcast and Media Communications. The program head is Kat Stewart. And our first grad in this program, Caitlin Bairstow, graduating with distinction. Alex Kerrigan. You. Graduating with distinction, Jamie Sesford. Kelly Charles. Troy Charles. Graduating with distinction, Jennifer Cooney. Jennifer. Brianna Corpus. Graduating with distinction, Mark Dunn. Graduating with distinction, Kelsey Elliott. Graduating with distinction, Corey Fisher. Michael Given. Graduating with distinction, Chris Hunter. Dan Johnson. Michael Lamont. Graduating with distinction, Madison Lynch. Spencer McKenzie. Graduating with distinction, Curtis Maycheck. Timothy Main. Christy Marsh Hennessy. Graduating with distinction, Aidan McCrae. Meadows. Graduating with distinction, Kelly Meadows. Congrats, Kelly. Eric Palmer. Jillian Pasquack. Casey Shell. Congrats. Melissa Sessia. How's that? Josh Southcombe. Elizabeth Villegas. Graduating with distinction, Jesse Wentzloff. Jesse. Brendan Williams. Woodford. Now, still within broadcast and media communications, we switch to television, and the program head is Ashif Javraj. And our first graduate in this program, Harman Ayula. Alicia Berry. Hi, Jill. Jill Buchanan. Congrats. Charles Cannon. Graduating with distinction, Gloria Ching. There you are. Dustin Clowers. Graduating with distinction, Zach Dallas. Way to go, Zach. Graduating with distinction, Matthew Earl. Congrats, Matthew. Danny Kobelka. Way to go, Danny. Thank you. Graduating with distinction, Alaris Gillum. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Laura Heavens. Way to go, Laura. Rush hour. Joan Hermoso. Sola Kang. Graduating with distinction, Rosa Coe. Nathan Livramento. Graduating with distinction, Anthony Lundberg. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Carmen Ma. Thomas McKenzie. Hey, Thomas. Graduating with distinction, Sarah Marsh. Graduating with distinction, Emily Masters. Graduating with distinction, Brendan Mills. There you go, Brendan. Graduating with distinction, William Cody Nelson. Graduating with distinction, Lauren Knoll. Graduating with distinction, Joel Panis. Graduating with distinction, Chad Parks. Graduating with distinction, Darian Parrish. Graduating with distinction, Robert Schley. Elena Senator. Graduating with distinction, Randy Strickland. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Taryn Tassi. Congrats. Philip Tukiev. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Jamie May. Good, how are you? Jesse Wickland. So is this, oh, this is part-time then. Next we have in the Broadcast and Media Communications, Broadcast Journalism, Part-Time Studies Management Certificate, Kiran Chima. Thanks, Kiran. Now we switch to our Graphic Communications Technology program, and the program head is Wayne Collins. And our first graduate in this program is, with distinction, Vivian Chu. Bless Domingo. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Susan Felnez. Graduating with distinction, Chris Ho. Holly Ho. John Lee. Graduating with distinction, Noel Lee. Also graduating with distinction, William Lee. Yuen Lee. Graduating with distinction, Andrew McFarland. There you go, Andrew. Panse Ing. Xavier Willett. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Lauren Proctor. Jinlin Shen. Hey, Carla. Carla Vischer Hensel, graduating with distinction. And high shoes. Graduating with distinction, Daryl Wong. And the last student in this program today, graduating with distinction, Joseph Yu. Congratulations. Now we switch to our D3, Digital Design and Development Program. The program head is Roman Shadmir. This is the first group of graduates for this new program. And our first graduate is Colin Brown. Graduating with distinction, Marilyn Buenvenida. Thank you. Graduating with distinction, Sean Cullen. Nice. Doing pictures? Yep, over here. Graduating with distinction, Fabril Cuevas. Renata Oliveira.
Just call me Leo.
Leo. Graduating with distinction, Leo Say. Clark Yao. And the last student graduating from this program today, James Yee. Now to the Senior Management Certificate, New Media Design and Web Development. The program head is Edward Fajardo. And our first graduate is, with distinction, Melanie Bachman. Graduating with distinction, Cameron Dubas. Yen Hong. Graduating with distinction, Cole Hudson. Sri Hasha Kakumanu. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Miranda Jacobson. Congrats. Sandra Koziatek with distinction. Also graduating with distinction, Anson Lau. Susan Lee. Paulson Olamangilo. And the last student in this program today, Leslie Poon, graduating with distinction. Congrats. Next, we have the joint BCIT Emily Carr Management Certificate Design Essentials Program. Program coordinator is Jeannie Patterson. And our first graduate, graduating with distinction, Emily Hine. Andrew Underhill. Graduating with distinction, Charles Deal. Congrats. And the last student today from this program, Yarnell White. Congrats. Next, we have the Diploma of Technology, Financial Management, Professional Accounting option. Summer Nee. And graduating with distinction, Summer Nee. Now we switch to the School of Energy, Dean Trevor Williams, and Craig Cowan, Associate Dean, Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology. And our first program, Bachelor of Engineering, Electrical Engineering, the program head, Neil Cox. And our first graduate, Joshua Fraser, graduating with distinction. Jean Henebla. Congrats. Dan Jiang. Preston Lee. Congrats. Alexander Martins. Derek Shepard. Now we have the Bachelor of Technology Electronics program. The program head is Jamil Ahmed. And our first graduate, graduating with distinction, Katie Bramhall. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Mark Cardeno. Sean Gray. Kevin Rye. Mohammed Riaz. Bikramjit Singh. Congrats. Ansh Fashish. Congrats. Now to the Diploma of Technology, Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology, Automation and Instrumentation option. The program head, Glenn Pellegrin. And our first graduate, crossing the stage with distinction, Ryan Araskold. Poonam Gill. Young Kim. Congratulations. Philip Lenski. Jenny Sparks. Michael Todorovich. Cash Tarabi. Next, we have the Diploma in Technology, Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology, Electrical Power and Industrial Control option. The program representative, Kathy Manson. And our first graduate, Manjot Aluwalia. Okay, thank you. Paneet Patel. Cody Burkett. Graduating with distinction, Chris Buxton. Congratulating with distinction, Lee Chen. Gurveer Dhaliwal. Colin Jensen. Dong Kim. Ralph Levino. Matthew McConnell. Congrats. Kevin Roldan. Congrats. Ruben Visser. Congrats. Now we have the Diploma of Technology, Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology, Telecommunications and Networks option. The program head is Bob Gill. And our first graduate is Jeff Guan. Harjinder Kandola. Graduating with distinction, TJ Moon. Graduating with distinction, Jiajing Tang. Graduating with distinction, Carson Turnbull. Chi Zhu. Now we have the Diploma Power and Process Engineering, the Chief Instructor, Sanya Boskovich. And the first graduate across, Virgilio Amigable. Mikhail Canetta. Bromwyn Dukeman. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, June Ma. Malik Macri. Andrew Nicoletti. Shane Trobacker. Nicole Victor. Now we have the Certificate of Trades Training, Power Engineering General, the Chief Instructor, Sanya Boskovich, and our first graduate, Neil Chinko. Next, we have Mechanical Engineering and Chemical Technology. The Associate Dean is Paul Morrison. This is in the Bachelor of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and the program head is Taco Neat. And our first graduate across in this program, Kyle Andrews. Stephen Bellier. Perry Chahill. Graduating with distinction, Eric Cresswell. Graduating with distinction, Sean Fuoco. Aaron Huffsmith. Congrats. Ivan Hoy. Congrats. Jeffrey Laley. Graduating with distinction, Daryl LeBeau. Matthew Lee. Congrats. Curtis Lines. That's the way it's spelled. Alex Mumm. Congrats. Ready? Mark Preddy. Hey, good. Tarek. We have seen this gentleman once already, Tarek Shobab. Congrats. Okay. Now we switch to the Bachelor of Technology Manufacturing. The program head is Mick Andick. And the first graduate in this program, Saravanan Alagasarmi. Thank you. Graduating with distinction, Timothy DeHaan. Next, the Diploma of Technology, Chemical and Environmental Technology. Program head is Mark McDonald. And the first graduate across, Jocelyn Barron. Matthew Carrick. Congrats. Okay. Graduating with distinction, Tina Kont. Vihandra Charawanda. Graduating with distinction, Angelo Chen. Oh. Kathan Datta. Just hold up a sec. Yeah, there you go. Great. Nikola Djurdjevic. Congrats. Drago. Graduating with distinction, Duran Drago. Congrats. Fife. Graduating with distinction, Kathleen Fife. Graduating with distinction, Hardeep Gill. Sorry. Tamina Hakimi. Congrats. Graduating with distinction, Chris Kwan. Helen Malecki. Congrats. Great job again. Graduating with distinction, Rachel McGinn. Graduating with distinction, Sandra Paris. Corinne Quinn. Congratulations. Ian Shea. Graduating with distinction, Patrick Snelling. Graduating with distinction, Gordon Tan. Graduating with distinction, Louis Tang. Now we move to the Diploma of Technology, Mechanical Engineering, Mechanical Design option. The program head is Ken Wong. And our first graduate across in this program, Omar Majid. Lucas Spaldini. She's taking a video. Michael Broche. Yan Campos. Derek Chin. Matthew DeBoer. There we go. Robert DeVita. James Fox. Ryan Gonzalez. Graduating with distinction, Daniel Green. Jason Hunter. Chelsea Jerzinski. Congrats. Nigel Cam. Graduating with distinction, Garrett Crite. Curtis Lang. Sung-Hoon Lee. Anthony Palma. Duncan Priestley. Joseph Rasveld. Chris Raz. Graham Stewart. Thank you. Greg Wilkinson. Next, we have the Diploma of Technology, Mechanical Engineering, Mechanical Manufacturing option, the program head, Dave Lewis. And our first graduate across in this program, Daniel Chow. Carol Jasinski. Congrats. Lionel Kong. Blanco Lamb. Jacob Maloney. Murray Novak. Oh, okay, I'm being correct. Ian David Murray Novak. There we are. Next, we have the Diploma of Technology, Mechanical Engineering, Mechanical Systems option. The program representative is Alan Inglis, and our first graduate across, Douglas Bisok. Matthew Gerard. Vincent Lowe. Sandra Sabao. Ji Wong. Now we have the Mechanics and Robotics program, the program head Brent Dunn, and our first graduate in this program, Stephen Bolanos. Graduating with distinction, Hayden Chuter. Rajinder Gill. Raymond Cayley. James Morris. Graduating with distinction, Paul Weeb. Now, in our technology teacher education, the program head Roger Bortington, and our first graduate across, graduating with distinction, is Troy Dakovinich. Christopher Kleisinger. Graduating with distinction, Tai Liu. Graduating with distinction, Benjamin Scoten. Graduating with distinction, Adrian Thirsk. Also graduating with distinction, Harvey Wong. Now we're switching to Trevor Williams, the Dean, Acting Associate Dean, Telecommunications, Technical Computing and Instrumentation. The program is Telecommunications Technician. Program head Greg Lambrecht. And our first graduate in this program, Ian Atwal. Monir Bardous. Young Chin Chung. Congratulations. Colvier Sond. Yirong Yang. Congrats. Now the Diploma of Technical Studies, Wireless Communications Technician, the program head Greg Lambrecht, and our first graduate in this program, Adam Kritz. Graduating with distinction, Justin Regacho. Michael Steves. Shenqueen Hugh. Chong Yuan Sang. Final student. Okay. And in our Electronics Technician Common Core program, again, the program head Greg Lambrecht, we have one student, Jia Li. That was fun. Was that fun? So I'm advised that there is one award that we actually missed presenting a little bit earlier on, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call on the outgoing Student Association President, Rebecca Davidson, to come and present the BCIT Student Association President's Award.
Thank you. So this award is given out once a year, and it's to a member within the BCIT community who has contributed to students and who has gone above and beyond for us, and is the reason that all of you guys are graduating today. They were that helping hand and that support that we need. As I was walking with the recipient here, she said that she doesn't like certain surprises, so I'm hoping that this one doesn't bug you too much. Julia Boswell, will you please join me on stage? So Julia has been with the BCIT Student Association for 15 years in July. Sorry. And she is an extremely valued staff member. She has played many roles in the Student Association, but in this last year, she has been our acting Student Services Manager. And I have to say, Julia is someone who is really in it for us, the students. And she is gone above and beyond when it comes to supporting us and taking on this new role and taking on our challenges and helping us with PUTE graduation or with Harvest Box or with our clubs or with our health and dental. She's really done it all, and I am so proud and so honored and privileged to be able to present this award to her. Julia, here's the President's Award.
Thank you, Rebecca. Now, I think it would be appropriate for us to give one more round of applause right now to our graduates, and I'm going to ask Kathy if you can lead the applause for our graduates of 2014. I'd like now to ask all of the graduates to please stand. And what I would like you to do is flip the tassel on your cap to the left side. Now, this signifies that you are now officially a graduate of BCIT. Congratulations. You may be seated. You may be seated. I now call upon TJ Moon, graduate of the Electrical and Computing Engineering Technology program, to give the valedictory address. TJ.
Thank you. Good morning, honored guests, distinguished faculty, friends, family, and of course, fellow graduates. It is my great honor to be here today to celebrate graduation of 2014. Yes, it is true, no more assignment and no more exam. We did it! Today, I'd like to start off by expressing our sincere appreciation to the wonderful BCIT faculty. You taught us the true meaning of time management by assigning all the assignment and exam to be due in one single week, and always right after a long weekend. Thank you. And this matter, special thanks to my program head, Bob Gill. Thank you. Thank you. Of course, without your passion, dedication, and caring, we could not have made it. Whenever we struggled, your door was always open. When we needed wisdom, you were a great counselors. You make BCIT a renowned school. Graduate of 2014, please join me to show our appreciation to the BCIT faculty for their hard work and dedication. Please. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Come on. Okay, please be seated, please. Calm down. We are not there yet. Now I have to say a big thank you to my old fellow graduate. Looking back my experience at BCIT, I cannot think of anything that I did entirely by myself. When studying for labs, quizzes, exams, and projects, we struggled together. We helped each other. We also fed each other tons of caffeine too. We relied on each other, we trusted each other, and we survived together as a group. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, time to say a huge thank you to the family. For the last few years, we were bad sons and daughters. BCIT was our home, the lab was our room, the instructors and classmates were our family away from family. But your support and generosity let us focus on our education, and your smile and warm hugs were true energy resources. For now, we are graduating, and we will not take your love for granted. Thank you, and thank you. I love you, Mom. Oh, one more big thank you to say. Without you, we could not make it, period. Your role will be remembered forever. Big thanks to coffees and energy drinks. Thank you. Yeah. When I first received a call saying that I was selected as a valedictorian, I was definitely happy, but was not sure about what I should say on my speech. I kept asking to myself, why me? Of course, I'm the most handsome guy with a charming voice in my program, but there must be other reason for this. Jeff, you laughed too loud. Okay. I talked to the instructor and friends to ask for the wisdom to share, and of course, all of them agreed that my handsomeness was not the reason. Okay, then why? To tell the truth, I even do not know the correct reason yet. But I might have been selected to share my experience with the concept of giving. In my life, I have often asked the question, what can I do to help people? What can I give them? It becomes very hard to answer this question when you're faced with a mountain of homework all due on Monday. But the answer did present itself to me at BCIT. In my first week here, I didn't feel comfortable in class because no one really talked to each other. Everyone seemed like they were waiting for someone to talk to them first. I did not feel comfortable with this awkward environment, so I took a sheet of paper and asked for the contact information for my classmate, for group study in the library. Surprisingly, everyone filled in the form and returned it to me on the spot. From the form, I created a credit-sized contact list and gave it to all my set members. It only took 20 minutes of my time and $3.50 to laminate it. The result? My set achieved highest set average grade in the first term and the lowest failure rate, and most importantly, all of us became good friends. This experience taught me a great lesson. Giving does not require lots of time and money. So I changed my question from then. Instead of asking, what can I do for others? I asked, what can I do for others without spending more than 30 minutes per day and no more than $10 per week? And I found I could do so many things for others without sacrificing my education, my time, and my money. I also realized that many other students were also looking for the opportunity to do something for others. I met great friends with warm heart in BCIT, and as a group, we create wonderful culture, work together, care about others, and pay it forward in our program. As a team, we created a volunteer passport program which organized volunteer opportunities for students and shows an official appreciation for students' volunteer effort. We provided a campus tour to new intakes and helped them break the ice. We stayed together as a group and survived the harsh educational attack from BCIT. We proved that giving creates even more giving. So, I'd like to invite everyone here today to the wonderful world of giving. Now, you may ask, yeah, this is a good idea, but how do I do it? I will give you a simple and easy solution today. Please remember GAS. Oh, not that kind of gas, a different kind. GAS stands for goals, appreciation, and smiles. Let me explain. First, G is for goals. I'm convinced that we can all do more to help others. Try to set up specific goals. My goal was to help students study and be successful, and of course, become friends. I had to do it with less than 30 minutes per day and $10 per week. In the end, it was a simple laminated contact list. Imagine what you can do with more time and more money. So please set up the specific goal to start, enjoy the wonderful and powerful feeling of giving. Next, A is for appreciation. The easiest thing that you can do for others is to show your appreciation. Appreciation can be a great source of pleasure for the giver and the receiver. It usually provides a new energy source for the next generosity. It is contagious and provides motivation. It is recognition people desire, and appreciation is the start of recognition. And finally, S for smile. I don't even think a full explanation is required. Show your beautiful smile to others whenever possible. Who knows? Your smile may actually save someone's life. It lights up a room and shows your gratitude. It is a simple gift, and it is cheap, way less than $10 per week, right? So, please remember GAS, goals, appreciation, and smiles. I hope it will power you to the giving finish line. I know it has been instrumental for my classmate of amazing people, and I know that they will go forward and continue to give to others as they achieve in the real world. I challenge you all here today to see how you can keep up with them by helping others. Congratulations, and God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we definitely know, TJ, that you have exceptional oral presentation skills. And I'll think of GAS for some time to come. You can see that TJ isn't just interested in excelling on a personal level. He wants to bring forward all of the others as well. And you showed it being a set representative when you supported your classmates in outstanding results. So we've already talked about your many accomplishments, but I think you can see the personal leadership style that TJ is going to exemplify for years to come. This is future leadership. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, TJ and Kathy. Now, it's time to congratulate and celebrate with our graduates. Our processions will now leave the auditorium, first the platform party, followed by our faculty, and then our graduates. But first, a couple of reminders. Mountain West Studios will be available for studio portraits of graduates located upstairs in room 3040. Leader Frames is available just outside the hall if you'd like to have your credential professionally framed. I also want to remind you that a video of the ceremony today will be available online at bcit.ca. Graduates, please return to the gowning area to remove your gowns before you go to the reception. And when you're leaving the auditorium, please move away from the doors as you leave to avoid congestion. Everyone is invited to join us for refreshments following the ceremony. The reception will be held in the gymnasium, which is just across the hall from the auditorium. For those who are receiving graduating awards later this afternoon, the ceremony will take place at the Burnaby campus in the Great Hall in building SE2. The reception begins at 4:30. Thank you to all our volunteers and staff for their efforts. Lastly, a special note from me to you, to those of you who just crossed the stage. You have completed a chapter of your journey. Congratulations. We hope that BCIT continues to play a part in your future and your journey as you go forward, as you grow and develop in your chosen field. I wish you the very best. Thank you all for joining us today. The processions will now leave the auditorium. Would you please remain standing until our graduates have departed? Thank you.